So here's a question I've been asking myself lately. Do you want to be successful? Like, do you really want to be successful when you think about everything that it entails to be successful? Now, pretty much everybody's got like goals, dreams, things that they would like to have in their life, whether that's they want a better job or they want the perfect relationship or they want more money or toys or they want, attention from people. And there's not necessarily anything inherently wrong with any of those things. But I would challenge other people, as I'm challenging myself, to think a bit more about what would it actually entail to have those things. Hey guys, it's Glenn here. Hope you're all having a wonderful week. Wonderful kick start to your week, rather, since it's Monday. And this is a thought I've been having since this last week, and even since before that, I've been starting to mull over. Just thinking about, when it comes to setting goals and thinking about things that you want in life or things that you want your life to look at, what is actually involved or would be involved if your life were to become like you think you want it to be? So, you can look at any number of people out there in the world who have material success. Maybe they're famous, they're actors, celebrities, business owners, other individuals who just seem to have attained a lot of success in the worldly sense. And there's nothing inherently wrong with that. And I think it's awesome for people to have goals, to have sort of higher senses of ideals that they're driving towards to sort of direct their lives and give you something to work toward. But you gotta be realistic about what that is. And one thing I think about is that a lot of times we see the good, but then we completely discount like the sacrifices or, the lifestyle that people have to lead in order to have some of the successes that they're having. You can look at celebrities, actors, musicians, and stuff. On the one hand, you don't have to look too far to see people who have absolutely just destroyed their lives because either they couldn't handle the stress or the responsibilities that came with the success that they had, or maybe they got their success and realized that it didn't make them as happy as they thought it was going to. Like maybe they pursued their success for some reason to feel better about themselves, to have a sense of validation. And then when they finally get it, because some people do, and they realize that maybe it's not what they had wanted all along. And another part is that you don't realize, you often so seldomly realize the sacrifices it takes for people to actually get to where they are. So even though they get to enjoy a lot of the things that you see in the limelight, it might have cost them so much in their personal life or in their time to get to that point that if you were to look at the totality of the situation, you might decide like, maybe that isn't what I want. Like as cool as it would be to have nice toys, a nice house, and a net worth of a certain amount, if I had to have those on the condition that I had to deal with all these other things, maybe that's not as appealing. The other thing I've been thinking about in relationship to this is not necessarily just the sacrifices that it takes to get to success, but what would your life look like if you had that success? Like, obviously, I'm a voice actor and, I would love to make more money doing voice acting and be able to continue to support myself as a voice actor. I'd love to, be in some bigger projects, some projects that get more attention. It'd be cool to get on some big video games, movies, stuff that, more people would see, and for people to actually see my work and to be, like considered to be somebody in that industry. And that's a cool thing. But then I also think about, so if I were to make more money, like, would I be able to handle the responsibility that would come with being more successful? Would I be able to handle the expectations that came with that? If people see me produce a certain level of work, is that a new standard that I'm held to? And is that a standard I'd be able to hold? And maybe you start to get more attention, and maybe the attention, maybe you don't get all the kind of attention that you want. Maybe some of it's critical, and you got to decide, are you the kind of person who would be able to handle some of that kind of criticism? Or even if it's not critical, would you be the kind of person who can stay true to what you're about in the midst of, having a lot of attention and having a big social media presence and having a lot of people paying attention to what you have to say and thinking about that? And because, that can certainly do a number on people. You see, I could list a number of stories about people who started off, maybe they were on a good path doing stuff because they were passionate about it or they were proficient at it, and then they reach a certain point where they get so much attention and fame that they lose track of why they were doing it to begin with. And, some of this sort of ties in where, a lot of people talk about fear of failure, but there's also a very legitimate fear of success. And I think a lot of the reason for why someone would feel being successful sort of ties into what I was talking about, where, success comes with it a certain level of responsibility. It comes with it, the a greater opportunity to fail. Like things are, if you rise to a challenge, if you take on more things in your life, then your life becomes harder. You need to be a better, more proficient person to be able to handle those stresses. And so there's more opportunities for you to mess up if you're not being the kind of person who can handle that workload. Yeah, so it's just important, I think, to, if you've got a goal, if you've got a sense of what you want your life to look like. I mean, it's cool to dream about, things that we'd like to see added to our life, things that would make our lives better or more meaningful. But I think it's also important to think about, just the totality of the situation of like, okay, if this were to happen in my life, what other things would come with it? Would that come with different challenges? Would that come with, maybe you don't even know what that would be. And that could be a fear. Like you think, okay, if I were to pursue this thing, I would be maybe in a better place, but it's a place that I'm not familiar with. So there's that fear of the unknown. I think that sort of ties into, why I deal with like procrastination and stuff, is that I'm comfortable where I'm at right now. Even if it's not the best place I could be, it's a place I know, it's a place I'm familiar with. And going into a different place, even if it's quote unquote better, it's unfamiliar. And that could be a little bit scary. That could give me some tension and stress. And whatever your goals, whatever you want to pursue, and by no means, I'm not saying don't pursue success or that you shouldn't pursue success because it takes sacrifice or it takes, all these other things. Absolutely, man. I mean, I think it's, as I said before, it's important to have things that you're striving toward, things that drive you. But it's also important, I think, to try to think holistically about everything that you're pursuing and realize that, if you have wins, if you start getting places in life, making more money, getting into different relationships, then that's going to come with a lot of other consequences that you need to be the kind of person that can handle. And I think it's healthy to realize that, if you want something, that you might get things in your life that are more than just what you intended to get. So that's something I've been trying to think about. And obviously I've got, I think, a long way before I would actually reach the point where I was making enough money or, having enough success in my life that I would be making some real lifestyle changes to the point where I would, be having to deal with a lot of that stuff. But I think it's good to think about, and it sort of helps frame where you're trying to go and what you're aiming at when you're really honest with yourself about what that thing is and what it actually entails. So that's a thought I've been having for a little while, and it kind of came to a head front this previous week, and I'd had a couple insights about that I was able to really kind of like, okay, this makes sense now. This is something I can like articulate, and I just wanted to share that with you guys this week. So sunny out there right now, which is cool. The days are starting to get longer here in Michigan as we're starting to, slowly but surely break our way out of the winter months. So once again, I hope everybody out there is gonna having a great start off to your week. Wish you guys have a fantastic week. Thanks again for everybody tuning in, for leaving comments, for engaging. Anyone who says they enjoy my videos, I love engaging with you guys. I love hearing the feedback. Just really makes this process all that much more fun. All right, that's what I got today, guys. So once again, hope you have a great week and take care.